Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day to all my students. Welcome back to this PQS 514, and today we'll be looking at the last part in producing a research project, which is producing the research report. So congratulations, you have gone through topic 1 until topic 7, and now this is the last part where you are going to learn on how to produce the research report. So basically what we are going to talk today is two things. The first one is to distinguish the terms used in the research report, and the second one is to describe and explain the content of the research report. I'm sure you still remember the research process that we have gone through previously. We're talking about producing a research project. It has to start with the first step, which is identify the problem and also defining the problem that you would like to investigate or explore. So from there, you will need to establish what will be your objective for the research. So it has to be very firm and very clear as well. And from there, you're going to start with your review of literature, and also developing your research plan and revisit the literature review again before you go for a data collection. Data collection can be a quantitative and a qualitative. It depends on your research objectives, so and also your research questions. Okay, after the data is being collected, then you need to do some data analysis. So data analysis can be inferential, can be descriptive analysis. It could be a qualitative analysis using a software or manually. And lastly, after you get the output, the valuable information from your data, then it will need to be reported in the report, dissertation, thesis, conference paper, journal papers, or even in the industry report. So it depends on what drives you and what initiate you to start the research. So this process is actually a typical process, a research process that everyone needs to undergo in order to produce a good and reliable report. So as mentioned, there are few types of how report can be reported. First, through the report, dissertation, thesis, and others, such as conference proceeding, journal papers, newspaper articles, magazines, newsletter, and so on. At this point, the following has been established. First, a structured research project. Theory and literature, because you have done the thorough theory and literature review previously, and data has been collected and analyzed, which means the data has been transformed into a valuable information to be reported in your dissertation. So what's next? What's next is to produce a result. Which means they need to have some discussion on the valuable information that you get from the data analysis process, and then you have to make sure that the result that you produce is the validity of the result that you produce is very good. So this is done because we want to have full confidence in our research outcome that we will report to the readers out there. So what led to the result? Of course, when you are using quantitative data or a qualitative data, there will be a special way in analyzing the data. Quantitative data could use statistics to produce a result, such as the relationship, the impact. You're looking at the R square value, looking at the regression value, and so on. And then if you are using qualitative data, of course you need to have other different approach in analyzing the data, such as you are using a thematic analysis and to produce and develop a result and pattern. So introductory result is basically to describe the data analysis for each set or sample or subset. It is perform rearrangement to maximize understanding of what the result mean, and you can also use a different form of a presentation to ease the readers to understand your data, the data and also the information, such as the chart, graph, table, and diagrams. So always remember this: research is a journey. We take it one step at a time, which means it looks like it's a long journey, but if you take one step at a time, so it will be a very enjoyable process. Okay, so in logic, derivation of conclusion from given information from the previous stages of your research need to be completed with a reasoning. So, which means inferences are commonly drawn in terms of these three factors. First is the deduction. Second is the induction, and also by probability. So deduction, as mentioned in the previous lecture, it is analyzing a valid argument form, draws into a conclusion, and by induction argues from many instances to a general statement, which means from many sources and then make it as a general statement. And probability, of course, we are using a statistic to validate the points. The most important thing is the conclusion of your research, because research should be able to produce a unique outcome or a special outcome that you expected when you start to do this research, by identifying the problems and also finding the objectives and the research question. So question like what has been discovered about the topic understudied through the execution of research. So what has been discovered? Is it a new theory, or is it a new current situation compared to the previous situation, or is it a new characteristic or a new formula? So all of this need to be written or need to be reported in your report. A major output of a research, where the main points of a research are summarized. And it's time to complete the story. Of course, we started with a research problem, and then we generate the research questions, identifying the research objective, and now it's time to conclude the story. So it should be clearly related to the objective and the result of your research, which means whatever that you ask in your research question must be answered at this stage of your research. Okay, recommendations. In terms of recommendation section, normally it comes in two forms: recommendation for implementation in terms of practices, or a policy where suggestion or actions to be taken are identified and justified, based on the findings that may relate to the subject matters or your research area. So you have to come out with some reasonable recommendation, and also recommendation for a future research, which means when you are doing a research, of course you are having a limitation that you stated in your limitation section when you are started to do your research before. So it's good that you highlighted this limitation and making a recommendation how your research or a further works can be conducted in order to improve what you have found in your current research. Okay, it also may relate to the scope of study, methodology, or also finding a new relationship, a regression, or impact on, and so on. Again, let me recap this again. Research is a journey. We take it one step at a time. It may like a very long process. It may like a very complicated scientific and investigation procedure. But if we take one step at a time, I'm very sure all of you can complete your research within time. So whatever it is, always conduct your research with ethical manners and also honesty, because the readers out there who read your report will rely on your writing. So for my students, you will need to produce your research proposal and conducted your research for your dissertation project in order for you to complete your bachelor degree program. So I would like to say best wishes to all of you, and know that research is a very important in improving a society, and also it will be beneficial to the society as well. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a great day everyone. If you have any question, please drop me an email at asmaalia@uitm.edu.my.